Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Today, we are digging deep again.
We love digging deep.
Deep and hard.
Our fans love how deep and hard we are.
Yeah. So the question we got this week was, what are the things that you believed at 18 that you don't now? Or vice versa.
It's a great question.
I think you should start, Devon.
Okay. I think with this question, it's very timely. I think specifically for me, just with what I do for work, because it is in like the creator kind of marketing space. And I think I've just seen so many creators like lives change at a super young age in 2 years and become super wealthy. And so I think it shows like a lot of younger kids that like you don't have to work that hard to be successful. So I would say when I was 18, something that I thought was just like making money, it was going to be easy. And like my life was just always going to be like pretty easy. Like it can't be that hard. And I think I had such like big aspirational goals for myself at 18 that I was like, I'm going to like make $1 million by the time I turn 35, and I'm gonna have this big mansion and all these cars and like more like materialistic stuff. But I think I just felt like, oh, it'll be easy. Where now, like, I still have really high goals for myself. And honestly, there's nothing that I think I can't attain.
Yes.
Which, like, could be delusion, but it is genuinely how I feel. But like having lived the path to even get to where I am has felt a bit arduous. So I think like it's just like a whoa moment where I'm like, damn, this shit is not easy.
I think I'm the opposite, where at 18, I definitely wouldn't have thought I could make $1 million. I definitely wouldn't have had any of those thoughts. But I definitely wanted to chase happiness. So I've always been very sort of true to myself in like doing things I like.
Yeah.
And where I think that differs now is that at 18, I thought I could go and be an actress and be a theater actress, which makes like no money. And
yeah,
I think I was a bit unrealistic about what chasing your dreams and doing the things you love, the sacrifices that would take.
Yeah.
And it was actually when I was legitimately 18 that I had to choose whether to go to university or whether to pursue drama school, because I really wanted to be a theater actress. I didn't like screen acting, and screen acting is the only way like you can make really good money acting.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be on screen. I wanted to be on stage. And she said the problem with being on stage is that you don't make a lot of money unless you go and do films. So you're going to be a theater actress. That's great. I'll support you to do that. But you know that during the night, you're going to have to go get a job at Selfridges or, get a second job.
Yeah.
And you won't have all these nice trips that you like to go on.
Yeah.
And, so you have to make a decision. You have to make a sacrifice. So I think that was the first sort of, I was the opposite, where it's not that I don't think I really believed in myself. Like, I just wanted to be happy, and I just wanted to follow my dreams.
Yeah.
And then I realized my dreams have a cost to them. And I don't think I'm prepared to like face these sacrifices.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty deep answer.
Yeah, it is. And but here's the thing. I went to university. I did psychology. I knew that I didn't want a job in psychology, but in the UK, you can't go to a really good university like Oxford or Cambridge and do something like media, which I knew is what I liked. I liked entertainment. I liked media. I liked acting. So I had to go. The choice was, do I go to a good university and study sort of a classic subject, or do I go to a less good uni and do something like media? But I was like, no, I want to go to a really good institution. So I went and studied psychology, and then thereafter, all the jobs I've had are jobs that at 18 I never thought would even exist. I mean, the career I have now and the jobs I do now, like, I would have never thought they exist. They didn't exist, to be honest.
They didn't.
No, they didn't.
It's like a whole new like era.
Yeah. So to that point, at 18, 30 is an age that you really think about as a girl growing up. There's the movie 13 going on 30. Like, it's a really, really big age.
It feels like a landmark age.
It's a landmark. And if you had asked me at 18 where I would be at 30, I would have said probably married, which I am, but the conditions of my marriage were different. Like, as in, it wasn't, I won't go into it, but it was like not that thing of we're ready to be married. We just kind of had to do it. Although we're so happy to be married. Like, we obviously love each other. You know, have a house, own a house, maybe have kids. And 30 just creeps up on you and you still feel like a kid. Yeah. Like, I don't have those things apart from the marriage. I literally
feel like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, when people ask me my age, I literally like go, like, I'm like, wait, there's no way I'm 33. Like, I start doing the math on my fingers.
And you know what's funny with me? If I think about my career, the moments that I felt most grown up in the room, like most senior, is not now. Is actually when I was like in the start of my career.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I had to overcompensate for the fact that I was young and a junior, that I would act really senior, dress really senior. Like, I'd be going to work in heels and pencil skirts.
So funny.
But it made me feel old. It made me feel mature. It made me feel like I had enough wisdom and age to be in certain rooms. And now at 30, I feel more of a kid than ever. I feel more junior than I did at that age. I probably am way more wise and smarter and more business savvy, but I actually feel really, really young.
I think I feel very similar to you, where when I was older, I always felt like I was cosplaying being like much older, and I was always very mature for my age, where now I feel like I'm so like youthful and like goofy.
Young, yeah. And to that point, one thing I didn't realize at 18 that I really do now is that career is not linear. You know, I've been lucky that I have gone up in like salaries every year. But within that year, there might have been 3 months where I'm not earning any money. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. But then I make up for it, you know? And similarly, not just with money, but with jobs. And sometimes you kind of have to take 3 steps back to then do something you like again.
You have to.
Yeah, I made a very, very intentional pivot in my career recently. One, which was becoming a freelancer instead of, you know, someone's employee. And again, things aren't linear. I'm in 3 months' time or in 6 months' time, I might go back and work for a company again. I don't know. But the intentional pivot I made was just, you know, where my career was heading and what I want to do, and really being truthful to what fulfills me instead of like what I know how to do, which is really tricky because if you've been doing something well for 10 years, why wouldn't you just keep doing that?
I love what you said about how sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to kind of like recalibrate.
Yes.
Because I think there's a lot of fear if you delineate from the course that you'll fall behind. But I've actually found, to your point, when I've delineated, sometimes taken like a pay cut or a lower title at a job, then it boosted me to making way more money with a bigger title in 2 years.
Yes. So that's the thing. Within the years themselves, like the months, there has been months where I'm like, I have to purposely not earn money for like 3 months, but so I can do this thing.
Yeah.
And then I know at some point it will just make up for it. And it has like paid off. And then that means that still that year, I've still made more money, and but like you have to trust yourself of like, I have to be intentional and get like, I don't know, go back to being a junior in this career because I really want to do this thing.
Yeah.
So I had to make a very intentional pivot last year of what I was doing with my career, and I'm really glad I did. And similarly to that point, when I was 18, I thought that career and your job roles had to, like, I thought I had to be very impressive. So once I decided I was going to take this sort of traditional career route after uni, I thought that your job titles meant everything. You know, the thing you put on LinkedIn? I thought like, fuck, like once I get to VP, CMO, like, and I quickly realized probably within like 3 or 4 years into my career, I was like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
I don't care about this. It's just such a vanity metric, like LinkedIn. Like, I mean, I was the biggest fan of LinkedIn. Like, I mean, I still go on it a lot. But I literally feel sick when I look at people's posts.
I know.
It's nauseating.
It's so bad.
It's nauseating. And again, I don't want to be a hater. I'm not a hater. Yeah. I'm not a hater. I have to tell myself that.
Because but I know what you mean. Because I'm just like, be more self-indulgent.
Yes. And maybe, you know what? Maybe it was acceptable and maybe it wasn't so nauseating before because LinkedIn was still novelty. So like talking about what you were doing and like being really like, you know, promoting yourself was kind of a new thing, and it was kind of fun, and it was novelty. It was still like a new platform. And now we know what it does. We know what people say. It's just so repetitive and nauseating. Like, also,
I loathe.
As it relates to humans, I think I've said this on this podcast before. I'm more interested about people for who they are than what they do. And that's why I like social media, because it is an outlet where you can see where people are going on vacation, who they're married to, what they like to read, or what their thoughts are. This is why I love YouTube. Like, people go around making videos of things they like.
Love.
And it's them. It's their core. It's their essence. LinkedIn is just a social media platform where people talk about what they do. And yes, some things that they do relate to themselves, but it's just...
Performative.
I hate it. But I'm on it. I go on it and hate watch, basically.
It's fun to hate watch.
It's fun to hate watch.
I think another thing, like, I used to be so social, like really fucking social when I was like 18. Like, when I think of myself then, like, I had so many friends and like really bad FOMO. So like, I was always out, always partying, always plans. Like, I would literally book plans like in my calendar. Like, I had like a little, like, whatever those like planners were that were like,
I still have them.
Yeah. And I would fill that shit. And if I had a day that didn't have something, I was like clamoring to fill it. Where now I'm just not like that. I have like quality over quantity.
Yeah, I was like that too. But here's the thing, I miss that. I miss going out all the time. I miss being with friends all the time. Like, I miss that community that you have when you're young, which as you get older, you have to work so hard to build a community, to keep a community. Like, everything's just so much harder. And I never did take it for granted, but I think I didn't have the foresight to know that it wasn't going to be forever, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I have like a friend right now, and she lives like an hour away, but she's married and has kids. And it's like, even for us to get on a phone call, we have to schedule it. And then when we have it scheduled, like, God forbid one of our schedules change, and then we're scheduling a call like a week out. And I'm just like, wow, this sucks. But I think it's just like the reality. So to your point, like, I do miss like just being able to be like, should we all Saturday, like 20 people come over to my place? Like, I used to throw these like epic pre-games or like post games. We were always doing brunches. Like, I do miss like stuff like that.
That's so funny. And I've never asked you this, but I'm sure you were the same as me. But when I lived at uni, and then after I graduated uni, like my house in London, like my apartment, I was always the epicenter. Always the pre-games, always the parties, always the afters, especially at uni. The things we would do to our house. Like, literally paint the walls. Like, people
stopped asking. Like, they just show up.
I want to cry.
And like, I remember on Sundays, like, sometimes I'd get annoyed because it just like would be people at my house the whole time. And it's like, when it'd be evening, it's like, what should we get for dinner? Yeah, because everyone's gonna sleep over. Like, it was never like,
or maybe Sundays were just a massive come down, and you were feeling.
That's true. That was definitely the come down, though.
So I miss that time so much. And this is the thing, I never took it for granted. I was very present, and I enjoyed every single moment, and I did everything.
Yeah.
But I never had the foresight to know it wouldn't be forever. Like, I never was thinking this is going to end.
That was my other point. So like, I always kind of thought like my friends that I had then would be like my BFFs forever. And I remember I'd like hear stories about like older women being like, oh, I'm not friends with her anymore. And I'd be like, I'll never be like that. And so it is just like, I never understood how like mourning or grieving maybe like a friendship ending actually feels so painful. Like, it feels like a breakup.
And to that point, there's been friendships I've had that we were so close. I'm thinking of one person in particular. And you don't realize the fragility of the friendships because you're so tight that you think nothing can come in the way. And then you blink and something happens that has destroyed the friendship. And it might have been something so minute that you could have definitely talked through it. But due to pride, because you're so young, you just go different ways because it's like the easy thing to do. Just like, oh, well, go a different way.
It's like so uncomfortable.
And now you're 30 and you don't talk to that person. And maybe it's their birthday and you say happy birthday. But you think about them a lot and you look at their stories and you think, I knew everything about you. And we would spend every day together and we lived together. And now you don't know them.
I'm quite confrontational. So I feel like with friendships like that, I've always said like, look, if something happened, like, let's talk about it. Like, you can say how you feel. But I think when it's not reciprocal like that, I am very quick to just be like, okay, I can't be in one-sided friendships in my 30s.
I feel like we've gone on such a tangent, but I like this.
Yeah.
Speaking of one-sided friendships in your 30s, one thing that I've been really trying to do is, in my desperate attempt to get back to those, like the impromptu-ness, and I don't know if that's a word, but the spontaneity of being 18 and being with your friends. My favorite type of hangouts with my friends are just like when I come to your house and we just do co-work.
Yeah.
And we put the TV on
It's
and
the
we're
best.
just talking. When friends say to me, let's go to dinner, that's great. And like, I will go to dinner. But when I have friends that the only thing we do is go for coffee or for dinner, it just feels so formal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really trying to, with friends, I'm like, can I just pop round and just sit on your couch for 6 hours? And we don't need to talk, literally just cohabitating with someone and like breathing in the same air as them and like watching TV mindlessly and making comments. Like, that is what it's kind of the intimacy of a romantic partnership.
Yeah.
But with a friend.
My favorite times, and like we have had a lot of these times, is like we're both working, we're like running into different rooms, taking calls. Then we'll like think of something to tell each other and like run into the room and be like, oh my God, did I tell you this? Like, I feel like those are like the best catch ups, and just like ordering food, having like a new album that just came out on. And it's like, that's just like the best form of hang. I agree. Like, I don't want to like get dressed up and go to dinner and like share apps. Like, it feels also again like performative. Like, I don't want to say like, oh, this martini's amazing.
Yes.
It's just like, I don't, come on.
I have actually found that I have really close friends that for whatever reason, we decide to go to dinner. And then we go to dinner and it feels awkward.
Yes.
Because we're like,
hello.
It feels so awkward. And I don't know about you, but with dinners and coffee dates and stuff, because it's something that I do, for example, with colleagues, like when you want to go on a work date, you go for dinner. Like it's like, oh, let me grab dinner with this client or this person, or let's go for a coffee and talk about work and talk about career. These are the things I don't want to do with my friends. So with friends, I like going to the houses. Like I like going on hikes, because hikes is not something you're going to do with like a colleague. Well, I have actually, but
no, I want to do like, the I like things. To go on walks.
Yeah, I want to do the things that I would do with my wife, but doing it with my friends. That it's like, let's go on vacation, let's go on a fucking trip.
Yeah. I love just like being on the couch and ordering food and like talking for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Also, it's like the waiter's interrupting you. It's loud. People are overhearing. Like, I do agree with you. It feels so formal, and I feel too old for it or something.
Yeah. Like what we did the other day with your boyfriend, where we went for a picnic and just sat in the park. I prefer that to going for dinner.
Yeah,
because it feels more normal. It's like, it's something I would do with my wife. Like it feels natural,
and you can really get to know someone that way. Yeah, that was so much fun, by the way.
I loved it.
We were so sad when you left.
Oh, I love it. So to that point of, if you're 18 and you're watching this, cherish everything, because it's not forever. Like that time, I still think to this day my favorite time of my life was when between 18 to 22.
One of my best friends from Boulder, he and I, every time we talk, we just say like, I wish we knew how good we had it when we were that age.
I think I did. I think I did
too. But like when I look back, I'm just like, fuck, I wish I could just close my eyes and be like, ah!
You know what it is? I definitely knew how good I had it. I just didn't think that would be it, in terms of like, for example, the best year I had in my life was when I went on study abroad. And when I was in it, I knew this is the best year of my life. But I didn't think that at 30, that was still going to be the best year of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought that there would be replicas of what I would
be.
Maybe yes, but maybe no. Like, maybe
different.
It's been different, yeah. Like, I've obviously had a really good time through my late 20s, but it's just been different because you can't replicate those circumstances again. You're not going to be in a state where you don't have to have a job again, that mum and dad are helping you out. Yeah. And your only job is to just study and have, like, you're not going to have that again.
Yeah. No, I know. It is, like, that's why I always feel nostalgic when I go and like stay at my mom's because we have like such a silly, goofy time. And then when I get in my car and I drive away, it always feels surreal because I'm like, oh, I have to go back to my real life.
Yeah.
Like my real life is not here anymore.
Nostalgia will always be the death of me. I always talk about nostalgia where I am the world's most nostalgic person. And if you think about living in the present or the future, I live in the past. I do enjoy my present and I make very intentional attempts to like cherish things.
Yeah.
But if there is one space that occupies 95% of my brain is my past and I want to relive things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't think about my future. Literally, I have the foresight of like a week's time. I don't think about my life past the next week. I do not think about the future. I don't make plans. I make travel plans because we have to buy fucking flights. It's the past that I live in.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy, but I think we're all like so guilty of it. I mean, I'm always like going through my camera roll and like looking at photos, even like from last year. I think
you are, but I don't think other people. I think I've met so many people obsessed with their future. They have 5-year plans. They have goals. They have goals.
Yeah.
I don't have goals. Like I'm in the present and I'm in the past.
Secretly have goals.
I mean, tell me what
I'm gonna steal her phone and go through her notes.
Oh my god, you'll see in my notes are actually not goals, and it's like songs I haven't written.
Oh, I love that.
Here's a fun question.
Yeah.
If at 18 I could have asked you, okay, no worries about money, like you can do any job you want, and it doesn't have to relate to your skill. So even if you don't have the skill, it doesn't matter. You can do it. What would it be?
I would have been like, I want to be on reality TV.
Like an actress. Or no, just like a personality on reality.
Like a personality on reality TV.
That's
like,
cool.
Hands down, that's what I would have said.
I love
and
that.
Then the second thing, I would have said like, I want to be like a stylist or like a publicist. Like always forward facing.
Yeah.
But like if I close my eyes at 18, I would be like, put me in coach for reality TV.
I love that.
What would you have done?
100% a pop star.
Love.
But I can't sing very well. I can perform. This is the thing. I could but maybe it's something you can just learn to do.
Can I tell you something?
Addison Rae?
Yes! Literally in my head, I was like, Addison Rae.
I love that I can read your mind.
When you were just speaking, like, so I think like you could be an Addison Rae.
At 30 years old.
I really think this. Like I have been studying her like in the last couple months, just like the evolution. And like obviously now she's coming up on all my shit because I'm just like actively engaging her. But when you were just talking, I was like, you could totally be like an Addison Rae.
I think I missed the boat a bit because the thing with being young is that you can be an early adopter to things. Like she was an early adopter to TikTok. So she used that as a vehicle to being a pop star.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I love her and I think the rebrand has been I mean, her new album,
I can't stop.
Incredible.
I used to get in the car and like always need to call people, and now I'm just listening to Addison Rae.
But here's what I will say. She has said in interviews where she's kind of coming across as, I was always sort of this little genius, this little pop star, but I had to kind of subscribe to the trends of TikTok and do what the trend was saying to kind of get to where I am.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that's the case. I think that she was young and she liked the trends, and just as like any 16-year-old girl do, like you go with what's happening in culture.
I think I would say what she's saying because I'd maybe be like, well, I need to be cool now, and that's a little cringe.
Right, but I think here's where I would say that differently. I think if I were her, I'd literally say that where I was young.
Yeah.
You know, when you're young, you do these things. You do these silly little videos. You do but hey, what I was doing was making me money and was getting me
making my brand
to where I am now. And now I'm older. I'm more sophisticated. I've listened to more music. I've watched more. I've worked with amazing artists. I've taken singing lessons, and I've curated this sort of perfect artist that I'm developing.
Yeah.
I don't think she has to like kind of create this narrative of like, this was all a vehicle to who I truly am. I don't think you have that
her
level
PR
of
coaching on that's a miss.
Yeah, like you don't have that level of genius at 16. You just don't.
You do. Period. I can't wait to listen to the album.
But I will say this.
I want to do a dance party.
Let's do it. So I would have been a pop star. Can't sing that well, but I can perform well. Like if I could sing well, the whole performance would be great.
Yeah.
But I do write songs, and this is my problem, is when I write songs, they're just like kind of like poems in my notes, but in the form of a song. So like I have verses, I have choruses, I have bridges. Like I know how to format a song. But when you write a song, you have to have the melody first and then you put the lyrics to it, because that is the easy thing to do. It's very hard getting lyrics and then putting it to a sound, because it's usually like you have to have a melody first. So I don't have a melody because I'm not a fucking musician. Like I don't play an instrument.
We know people that can make you a melody.
Okay.
I'll pursue this as my side hustle.
She's like calling
I'll be a manager.
She's calling Charlie Puth on the side, being like, got any melodies? My friend has the words.
Manifesting.
Charlie Puth, if you're listening, I've got some songs for you.
Okay, so another thing that I think kind of like goes with what we've been talking about, but when I was 18, and I'm still cunty and I still love living a rich life, but I think I really valued like thinking of like really big grand like trips or yachts, or like thinking like, oh, you know, like remember Cribs and like they'd show you their closet, the walk-in closet, and like I always thought like I need that to be happy. And like, if I don't have that, I can't be happy. Yeah. And I think it's because like, I just, in my head, like, I just always was so money hungry and hustling, and always thought like aspirationally, if I can attain that, then that will mean I'm happy. And I think now I still like having nice stuff, but like I was talking about this with my boyfriend, like I like when he just like cooks eggs at home and we hang out, and I'm just like, whoa, yeah, that is wild.
You don't need the grand things to be happy. But I will say this, I think now being 30, I agree with the statement that like money doesn't bring you happiness, but in a way it does.
Money brings me happiness for sure.
Yeah. And I think at 18 I would have had the ignorance to be like, I don't need money, like I can just be happy. Whereas now it's like it makes things easier. It makes things like less stressful if at least you have that covered.
Yeah, because the money gives me the time. So it's like if I can like expedite things.
You can outsource things, you have time. Okay, my last one is just that at 18, I think, and this wasn't a conscious thing that I was thinking, but I think in hindsight, I can see that I really loved external validation and I didn't have my own sense of self-worth. Ooh. And I think I really depended on my family and my friends and my partners to be like, you're God's gift, you're amazing. Yeah. And I think that led me to really toxic behavioral patterns that I've now had to unlearn. And now I really realize that you have to love yourself, and self-worth has to come from yourself. And you have to really be happy from you first before anyone can give it to you.
What are what's an example of like a bad behavior pattern that you feel
I think in relationships I really depended on people to make me happy, like literally when I was having a fight with my partners, that was like the end of my world. Things could be going bad at work, no issue. Things like bad with my family, no issues. But if I was like fighting with my partner because that was like who I was depending to make me feel loved,
it felt
horrific. And so just having like this really strong, solid foundation of like, I love myself and I am worthy. And
well, at the end of the day, you actually do have you. Yeah. Like you can like always come back to that.
And it's funny because now I'm in like this really great marriage. And for the first time in my life, I think it's probably the time where if I was single, I'd be completely happy and fine. Yeah. Obviously I'm not, and it's great that I'm not. But I think before that, I needed to be in relationships because I didn't know how to be alone, or I didn't know how to have self-worth just by being like single and alone and happy. Yeah. Which is crazy.
It's a really I think it's a valuable lesson at any age. Aww. I think we should drop pictures up here of when we were 18.
Oh God, I was such a slut. I was very slutty. I looked good. I peaked at 17, I will tell you that.
I was drinking a lot and doing external activities and like smoking cigs
activities. Yeah.
With my little fake
we'll
ID.
drop some pics of us at 18 and we haven't really changed, I don't think.
Yeah. Maybe I can find a picture of my fake ID.
I also had a fake ID.
I broke my piggy bank and paid for it with coins because the Coinstar would take a charge. And I was like, I don't have enough money. Like, I can't like be charged by the Coinstar.
I love that. Yeah. Iconic. Well, welcome back, everybody. And stay tuned for next week.
Bye. Have a great night.